Hello there. Sorry I'm not in. There was another case, but I'll be in really soon. I just couldn't come in today. I have to speak to important people today and see when I can come back in, so I will keep you posted. Nonetheless, the show's got to go on, so we're actually going to be talking about the senior autobiography today and in what capacity you're going to be experiencing writing until the moment you hand it in and we can celebrate and be done. So for the final autobiography, what you're going to be handing in that you must do is your preface. You just heard about that. The afterword, then your 4 memoirs, bound together. That'll be in the rough copy. Now I've already seen your changes on your 4 memoirs, the edits, those 10 changes. You're writing your preface and your afterword now. So that means all you really must do is write the preface, write the afterword, put in 4 memoirs, all compiled into one document, make any corrections, make it better. You're going to hand that in, and I'm going to proof it and give you some basic feedback until the final. That's when you need to bind it. That means put it together into one document, one hard copy, where you're actually going to get it spiral bound, and I'll go into details later, or do some other kind of creative collage or like a binder or something. Now, you have another option. So this is your rough copy up there. It's your final copy. Some of you, this is not required, but I would like some of you, if you have it in you, to write a thematic focus for your autobiography. You're actually going to insert a theme. Okay? So the purpose of the next couple slides is to talk to you about what exactly is this thematic focus. So I want you to understand that this is all that you are required to do. This is all you must do. That's in the rough copy. You must also hand in a bound final copy. This is optional. Some of you, I would like you to do it. Do you understand that? Okay, so in clicking through, it just reiterates what I just said. The rough draft and the final copy must have a preface, the 4 snapshots / memoirs that you've written, 3 pages each or onto a 3rd page, and then the afterword. So you'll see the thematic closing and the thematic introduction is optional there. How do you think of a thematic focus? Well, you have to read all of your memoirs carefully and with an objective eye. What do you think with an objective eye means? Pause me and discuss that. So after you read your memoirs, you're going to be thinking, how are they related? What topics do I sort of touch on? Do you consistently talk about family? Do you talk about struggles? Do you talk about school? Think about what ideas, people, places, time periods, or beliefs link them. And then you can come up with a few ideas here. You can also meet with me to clarify any questions. Next, you're going to brainstorm all the possible ways you might want to organize your final paper. So the number of ways is definitely only limited by your vision and imagination. You can take an objective approach or a creative one, or use your own hybrid. I'm going to give you some examples of a theme. So again, a theme is something that's going to have a brief introduction and link all the memoirs together using your theme. As a thematic account of some important life experiences, like major successes in your life or obstacles, so the thematic account would link together things like, these are all things that I've struggled through. So then struggle would be your theme. That's an objective approach. So you could have a series of events in which a particular setting or characters play a part. So really focusing on one particular setting. One driving force. So a thematic approach is going to have one driving topic. Love, family, struggle. One consistent, sustained frame, and really any of them are going to have that. So I don't want you to use this one because I think it's overdone, but if you want to go to a subjective approach rather than a theme focus, something that's more subjective, I've had a couple people act like they were packing up for school or packing up their childhood room, and as they picked up like a frame, they would look into the picture and then say, oh, I remember this time when, and then they would jump into the memoir. So it's like you're doing an outside-in look. You could write a series of letters or phone calls. I can think of a couple of you, maybe Kayla or Jackie, where this would seem appropriate for your content. Creating fictitious letters which transition and serve another purpose. So you would be having a little bit of a letter, and then from your letter you would jump into the autobiography or the memoir related to it. You could do a dream or a nightmare like of your waking life, so the dream journal would actually highlight yourself when you were awake. You could talk about different homes or locations. You could talk to a fictitious Thanksgiving dinner and have that be the framework. So then after you hear Uncle Ted talking about the time that you went boating and then had some sort of mudslide fight thing going on, I'm referring to one of you here, after hearing him talk about it, then you could jump into the memoir. I'm going to let Miss Brooks take this one. These are all different ideas that I've read that have worked really well as thematic focuses. So hypothesize how you might use any of these to make your own autobiography thematically focused. So how can you complete this sucker? First, you have to write your preface. So I suggest that you take note, at this moment, take notes and write these like steps, like a chunking of assignments. So first you write your preface. Then, after deciding on your thematic focus, you write a thematic intro. Say what the thing is going to be that you're going to organize it with. Then you follow the 4 memoirs and you put them in, incorporating your theme into any of these ideas. Between each memoir, you want to have some sort of link between your intro and your theme. You continue this process. You have intro, memoir, transition, memoir, transition, memoir, transition, thematic conclusion. Then you write your thematic conclusion. Then you write your afterword. For the most part, you're going to be graded. If you choose to do the thematic focus, that's where I'm going to be giving you the most feedback when you hand this in for a rough copy. But these are your final FCAs, the organization of your memoirs, that's thematic development where applicable, or organization in general. The richness of details throughout, that's SDT. So anytime you expand that, you get kudo points there. Your preface and your afterword, and then the overall product. So the rough draft with preface, afterword, and thematic focus is due Monday, February 27th at midnight. So you can write that down in your homework books now. You will have time to write in class. Your homework for Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, because that's the next time you'll be here, because you have off Monday and Tuesday, is to begin thinking and brainstorming an overarching idea, theme, or framework. Write down any ideas in your journal and come prepared to volunteer theme if applicable. So really think through this and certainly get started on it if you want. You may also work on the preface. You have a leg up on all these things. You started already. So this last little bit down here, I wrote Google Lord of the Flies, Kite Runner, or Ordinary People. Come um, Wednesday, what we're doing now is we're going to be starting book circles where you and some buddies all select the same book, and then you're going to be making a website about that book and making a presentation to the class eventually on the book that you selected. If if you would like to do a book that is not listed here and buddy up with somebody to cover a book that is not listed here, then you have to present the book that you and one or two people would like to read together by Wednesday. So you can do it to me via email. You're going to be selecting one of these three books. I will give you the synopsis for them in class so you can make a good decision. But if you have a different book in mind, you may present it to me over the weekend. Just briefly, Lord of the Flies is about a group of boys that get stuck on an island and they have to sort of survive. They're young kids. Kite Runner is the most contemporary work, and it's hard to pinpoint what this is about, but it's set in the Middle East, a little bit in the United States, and it's about a young boy's struggle with guilt. It's really an excellent, excellent novel. Ordinary People is also about a young man's struggle with guilt, but his is more of a teenager's account, something that maybe we could more relate to, high school, and he ends up having to deal with some struggles with suicide. So you select between one of those three, do some Googling this weekend, see which way you want to go. Guess that's about all I have for you. You can begin working on your preface, take a second and chat about what you might want your thematic focus to be and if it's something you're interested in. So thanks for tuning in.